Hello, everyone. Welcome back to UK Pro Writers. Today, we have an intriguing topic to delve into. Investment and political stability in Russia and Ukraine. Analyze how political instability in Russia and Ukraine influences foreign investment. We'll analyze how political instability in these countries influences foreign investment. This research topic is of immense importance in today's globalized world, and we'll explore why. Importance of the research topic. Before we jump into the details, let's understand why this research is crucial. Foreign investment plays a pivotal role in a nation's economic growth. Political stability is a critical factor that influences investment decisions. In the case of Russia and Ukraine, both countries have experienced periods of political turmoil, which can either attract or deter foreign investors. Real-world examples. To put things into perspective, consider the following real-world examples. Russia. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 led to sanctions by Western countries, affecting foreign investments. Understanding the correlation between political events and investment patterns can provide valuable insights. Ukraine. The Orange Revolution in 2004 and the Euromaidan protests in 2014 had profound economic consequences. Investors closely monitor such events to make informed decisions. Now, let's dive into how to draft the first chapter of your research. The Introduction. Chapter 1, Introduction. Chapter 1, the introduction chapter, typically includes the research problem statement and its significance, along with research questions, objectives, rationale, and a brief overview of the research methodology to provide readers with a clear understanding of the research's context and purpose. Research problem. The research problem defines the issue you aim to address. For instance, your research problem could be, how does political instability in Russia and Ukraine impact foreign direct investment? Research significance. Research significance highlights why your study matters. For example, you can state that understanding this relationship is crucial for policymakers, investors, and international relations scholars. Research questions. Here are 3 sample research questions. What are the historical patterns of political instability in Russia and Ukraine? How do foreign investors perceive political risk in these countries? What are the economic consequences of political instability on foreign investment? Research objectives. Your research objectives guide your study. Here are 3 sample objectives. To analyze the historical political events in Russia and Ukraine. To assess foreign investors' risk perceptions. To evaluate the impact of political instability on investment flows. Research rationale. The research rationale explains why you're undertaking this study. For instance, you can mention that understanding this relationship can inform investment strategies and contribute to political stability in these regions. Now, let's move on to Chapter 2, Literature Review. Chapter 2, Literature Review. Chapter 2, the Literature Review chapter, comprises an in-depth review of relevant academic literature and research related to the chosen research topic. It includes discussions on theories, models, empirical studies, and conceptual frameworks that provide the theoretical foundation and context for the research, highlighting gaps in existing literature that the current study aims to address. The literature review provides a foundation for your research. Some suitable subtopics for this research include historical context of political instability in Russia and Ukraine, theoretical models of political risk assessment, previous studies on foreign investment in unstable political environments. As for theories and models, you can adopt the Political Risk Index, which quantifies political risk factors, the Investment Development Path (IDP) theory to understand investment stages, the Real Options Theory to assess investment flexibility in uncertain environments. Gap analysis. A literature gap is a vital aspect of this chapter. It identifies areas where your research contributes. For instance, you can identify a gap in the literature regarding the long-term effects of political instability on investment strategies. Chapter 3, Methodology. Chapter 3, the Methodology chapter, outlines the research methods, approaches, and strategies to be employed in the study. It typically includes details on the research philosophy, approach, inductive or deductive, data collection methods, ethical considerations, limitations, and the rationale behind the chosen methodology. Chapter 3, the methodology section, outlines how you'll conduct your research. Let's cover some key areas. Conceptual framework. Consider a framework with 3 independent variables: political stability, economic indicators, investor perception, and a dependent variable, foreign investment inflows. Research philosophy. A positivist research philosophy is suitable, emphasizing empirical data and measurement. Research approach. Given the quantitative nature of this research, a deductive approach is recommended. Research strategy. A mixed methods approach could be appropriate, combining surveys and economic data analysis. Data analysis method. Quantitative methods are favored for this topic, using statistical analysis to examine historical data. Ethical considerations. Ethics are paramount. For example, ensure informed consent from survey participants to protect their privacy. Limitations and delimitations. Be transparent about the study's limitations, such as data availability or potential bias in investor perceptions. Chapter 4, Data Analysis. Chapter 4, the Data Analysis chapter, involves the presentation and analysis of the collected data using appropriate statistical or qualitative methods, depending on the research design. It includes detailed descriptions of data analysis techniques, findings, and their interpretation in relation to the research questions or objectives, often supported by tables, figures, and graphs. Chapter 4, based on your methodology, involves data analysis. For quantitative research, you might analyze data using regression models with a sample size of at least 200 respondents. If it's qualitative, conduct thematic analysis with a sample size of 15-20 interviewees. Chapter 6, Conclusion and Recommendations. The conclusion chapter synthesizes your findings, demonstrating how they address your research questions. It's vital for wrapping up your study. Recommendations are crucial too. Suggest strategies for policymakers and investors based on your research findings. Future research suggestions. Lastly, future research suggestions can guide further studies. For example, exploring the role of multinational corporations in mitigating political risk in these regions could be a promising avenue. And that wraps up our overview of the research journey on investment and political stability in Russia and Ukraine. Stay tuned for more exciting insights right here on UK Pro Writers. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more research-related content.